So welcome to the webinar, to this crystal conversation. So it's a conversation, so it's a little bit more casual. And I said, when I wanted to do this crystal conversation webinar, I said, there are lots of things I know about crystals, and I know things, obviously we all go through life, and Baruch Hashem, we gather lots of different knowledge along the way and different methods and different things that work for us in order to cope. I think the Jewish nation, it doesn't matter whether you're in the United States, whether you're in England, whether you're in Israel, wherever we are, the Jewish nation is going through a challenging period of time. So there's lots to say, and I don't know about everybody else, but I certainly am not functioning as well as I normally do. It's just, and every time you think, okay, I'm getting myself going again, and then something else comes. There's another shtoch from here, from there, whatever it may be. So on the one hand, for me personally, there's a sort of, I have not a full balance, okay, because you can't balance out 1,400 deaths and 240 people, 240 hostages. There's nothing that's going to bring, for me anyway, that's going to bring that scale up and make it even at the moment. But there are those glimmers of light and glimmers of positivity that really are like a complete ray of sunshine. So today, my ray of sunshine was seeing our Jewish soldiers, and they were dancing outside the shul, the Bet Knesset in Be'eri. Be'eri was the kibbutz, the yeshuv, the moshav, however it's termed, that was so terribly affected by the massacre. People murdered and hostages, terrible. And here we have our Jewish young men. They're back there, thank God. Obviously, it's in our hands. And my heart is warmed. My heart is literally warmed when I think about our boys as they go into battle. Because what do? They pray to God. They create unity among themselves. There are so many different bonding acts, and they feel they're there for a higher purpose. It's not just fighting an enemy. This is my inner desire, such a deep desire to fight for my homeland, for this land that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us. It's not just any country. And I don't think that we're going to find that anywhere in the world when soldiers go to war, that there's such a deep conviction and commitment. Okay, so I think that, in this, that is something that it keeps it, for me, it's something that keeps on giving me energy and warming my heart, literally warming my heart as I see the soldiers. I said this before. One of the things that my mother-in-law was in Israel. Okay, she lives in Australia, but she was in Israel and she wanted to help. The fact that she is, 87 years old, Bli Ayin Hara, wasn't going to stop her from helping. What can she do for this war effort? And we live in the yeshuv of Nerias. It's a very close-knit yeshuv, and there are a lot of husbands and fathers, sons that are in the army, and people aren't functioning so well. So somebody suggested maybe she could fold washing. So she started to fold people's washing, and it was an amazing thing. And she gives me this army uniform of somebody's, and she said it was all creased. Gila, he can't wear this. He's not wearing this. Iron. I'm the one that does the ironing. So that was that. So I did the ironing of this uniform, and I can't tell you how I really felt that I'm doing something holy. I was so proud and happy to be doing that. I'm not so happy doing the ironing, but this was one time that I was, felt very proud doing it. So those are just like some of the things that are holding me. But I want to tell you, I want to start and tell you a little bit about the crystals. I'm not going to my usual background on crystals and telling you that they are Jewish, because I think that most of the people here have been with me before. And if you know me, obviously crystals have got a very strong Jewish side, and we have the Avnei HaChoshen worn by the Kohen Gadol. And maybe this is the time to say to you, the Choshen Mishpat had 12 stones on it. Each stone on the Choshen was different from the other. And even if you don't know very much about crystals, I'm going to guess that you know that a ruby is reddish, and you know that an emerald is greenish. So, right? And they're different. Okay, maybe you know an amethyst is purple, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the 12 stones on the Choshen worn by the Kohen Gadol, and they represented, each stone represented one of those tribes, but each stone was very different, one from the other. Their qualities are different, but not only their qualities, the way they appear. And for me, that is Am Yisrael. And I think we're seeing it. That's what we're seeing now. That Am Yisrael, I mean, we certainly see pictures all over of the soldiers, for example. They are so different. They come from such different backgrounds, whether it's from high tech or whether it's a janitor in the school, whether it's secular, religious, tattoos, it doesn't matter. They're all together and they can all maintain their identity. And that's Am Yisrael. We're all one thing. We're all like this Choshen. We're one thing. And I believe that the Choshen represents the Jewish nation. And it goes on the heart of the high priest, of the Kohen Gadol. The heart, the place of love, okay? And the most important organ that we have is our heart. No heart, no life, okay? And on that organ, Hashem, God has said, place my people because they are my children. Each and every one of them. And it doesn't matter if they're like this, like that, or the other. They're all my children and I love them all equally. And that's how I feel. That's what I feel that the Choshen represents very much. So, and we can go on and talk about where there are crystals mentioned in the Gemara when it talks about Shabbat, talks about the carnelian stone and the Even Tkuma, that a woman should carry that stone on Shabbat. The reason I'm saying this to you ladies is so that you understand that crystals was a concept. It was something that people knew about in the times of the Gemara. They were using crystals then. So, you know, when people turn to you and say, crystals, is that Jewish? Oh my gosh, yes, it's so Jewish. Call them stones, call them crystals, call them gems, call them Jewish, call them beautiful, and enjoy them. Okay, that's what I want to say to you. So I want to tell you, where can the crystals come in today? How could they help us today? First of all, I don't think that crystals are going to resolve this war. There are crystals that help us to negotiate, but we're not negotiating now. We're fighting, okay? There are people going through challenging times. If people have been through tragedy and loss, there are crystals that will help them cope, that will help them manage. Will they take away their pain, their suffering? I can't bring back. I just came now, Mamash, I just came back now from Nichum Avelim, from seeing a woman on my yeshuv. Her husband volunteered to go into the army. He's 41 years old. He was 41 years old, 6 children. And with her agreement, he went back. He went into the army because this is his homeland. This is Eretz Israel, and he wasn't going to leave his soldiers there without him. So he went in and he paid a price. He paid the highest price. So I can't take away, even with, sorry, you know me, I'm all mush. You know me by now, right? And I think that's me, sensitive, I can't help it. I can't give her stones that are going to bring him back. I can't give her stones that are going to say you're not going to have pain, because that's not natural. I can give her stones that might reduce her level of pain a little bit. That's what I could do for her. Okay, now I want to tell you more than that. One of the things that we do with crystals, and many of you know this, is we do assessments. I do assessments on people because crystals have an incredible way of sharing a story about what is going on for a person. A person chooses the crystal that he is attracted to, she is attracted to, okay? So I've got my beautiful sets of crystals, and on my desk now and all over the place, I have crystals. And I'll tell you right now that this is the one that I need, okay? This is a lepidolite. It's a rough lepidolite. And this is the stone that's calling to me, so it's on 2 sides of my desk, okay? That's why I can just pick it up. I didn't prepare in advance which stones I'm going to have here. This is what I'm thinking. As I'm talking to you, I said I need it. And that is indicative of my ups and downs, my mood, the ups and downs that I go through. I go from feeling down to feeling um, um, fulfilled in a way that I could be helping somebody. So whether it was ironing the soldier's uniform, or whether it's organizing the food for this family, Nebach, or whether it's 101 other things, or preparing this webinar for all of you, so that everybody can listen to a webinar that's going to help them. Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should give me the koach and give me the right words, that what I'm saying to you today will actually be of help and benefit. Okay, so when somebody chooses crystals, it gives us a very incredible picture of what's going on for that person. And sometimes when we have this picture of what's going on for a person and we tell somebody what is happening for them right now or what it is, and we understand, things have happened in their childhood. For example, one of the women that I saw, I knew she very thin lady, and she chose stones that talked to me about the fact that she was lacking emotional nourishment. As a child, her mother did not have the ability to give her basic love, the hugs and the I love you, sweetheart, and the affection, etc., that she needed. Her mother didn't know how to deal with her. Like, her mother went through the Holocaust. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This woman grew up being emotionally starved, literally. And, when you see the fact that she is still today, she's slim. Okay, today we call it slim. And so that's, a different story. And she still wants this emotional nourishment. And through the crystals that we chose, we found also her ability to express herself and say everything that she wants to say in the way that she wanted. She wasn't able to do that. And this was all part of the fact that during her childhood, okay, she didn't receive the emotional nourishment that she needed. Now, everybody responds differently. And so therefore, I need to be doing these assessments on people to understand why it is that they're responding this way, or what's going on, or what's causing it. So the other day when somebody asked, what do we do for a woman, a particular woman who's been through war, and every time she hears different noises, she gets freaked out and she has to go upstairs and stay in a room, and she's non-functional. So to say I'm going to give her a particular set of stones, they might help her a little bit. They might. But on the other hand, if I do an assessment and we get to the root and we understand maybe something else went on, that there were noises, that it was symbolic of, or I don't know because I haven't done the assessment. But once we do that, we get a lot of enlightening information. And it is liberating for people to understand, oh my gosh, the fact that my mother was this way to me, that's really affecting the way I talk today to my children. Wow. And then we can help to cleanse that out, because we have a lot of things built up in us. We call it luggage, we call it baggage, we call it lots of different names. We call it jifa in Hebrew. We have lots of different things very often. We all have some of it, but sometimes it stops us from really functioning and getting on with things. So, the assessments are a very beautiful and fun way to be able to help people to move on, And so, therefore, when we do assessments for people, and it's like tonight, I saw we've suffered, actually where I live, we've suffered quite a bit of tragedy. We had 2 soldiers that were killed on the first day of the war, and we had this other soldier that was killed less than a week ago. And I saw tonight, when I went to Nichum Avelim, Miriam Peretz came as well to do Nichum Avelim. If you know the name, she lost 2 sons in many wars, in the Lebanon wars. She's a well-known personality in Israel, and she goes around and she comforts families. So other families who have gotten up from Shiva and have had their shaloshim also came to hear what words of encouragement she gave. And sat there, the sister of one of these soldiers and she was crying. If I can cry here to you ladies, you could imagine that she could certainly she's crying, this sister. And I know her because she's come to me before. I actually know her through crystals because she came to purchase crystals for something else one time. Sweet girl. And I said to myself, this girl needs to come and needs to do an assessment, go through, choose the stones that are going to help her now. Okay, I'll guarantee that there will be, like, for example, an Apache tear there. Apache tear is a stone known to help for mourning, and she's in mourning, and I'd say 99%, there's always a chance that it's otherwise. Doesn't mean she's not in mourning, but that 99% of a chance she'll choose that stone, and she'll choose all other stones as well. So I decided tonight when I saw her there, and I don't know, there was a soul connection, you know, as she's crying and listening to Miriam Peretz. I looked from across the room, and our hearts hugged each other, and it's like, I'm going to do an assessment for this girl. You know, that's one of the things I like to do for people during this war, to be able to do an assessment for people who really need it, you know, obviously without charging her. Anyway, so yes, I would be recommending to people certain sets of stones, but don't expect them to do magic. That's what I want to say to you, okay? And I think that there are other things that I want to recommend that we could be doing as well, okay? First of all, something that I learned, I think we could try it all here, because I think one of the things that Miriam Peretz said tonight, she said, I'm going, that's what she's doing, is she's visiting bereaved families, and she's busy from, unfortunately, all day. She said, there's not a street, there's not a yeshub, there's not a city that hasn't been affected. Everybody's been affected here. And as a nation, we've been affected, okay? Because it talks in the Mishnah, for example, that we're like almonds, and all the almonds stand together. And if you move, there's a pile of almonds, and imagine what happens when they're all lined up and you pull one of those almonds out. What happens? They all fall and they all move. And that's us. That is Am Yisrael. So I know that we've got people here that are in Israel and people who are not in Israel. And I know how much everybody cares. So, therefore, I think that we can all try this exercise now. We're going to close our eyes and do freezing. This. Am I back? I think I'm okay. I want to try this exercise. If you have stones nearby, take a stone, whichever stone talks to you right now. Okay. Whatever stone talks. It could be an amethyst. It could be a prehnite. It could be a tiger's eye. It could be a crystal generator. It doesn't matter. And if you don't have any stones, it doesn't matter either. Okay. So I want you to take a stone, because the stones give us energy. The stones have frequencies, and as we hold them, okay, and take them close to us, these frequencies transfer to us. And it's also known that when you look at the stone, so if you don't have a stone, I mean, maybe you've got it on your necklace, I don't know. But if you've got a picture of a stone, that actually also helps. So I want you to close your eyes for a minute. If you feel more comfortable turning off your camera, but please turn it on again. Okay, you can leave it on, leave it off. Close your eyes. And I just want you to try and imagine something good, something positive, something, okay? For me, at the moment, my oasis is imagining Gush Katif again, imagining beautiful homes and palm trees growing, and I'm hearing the rustling of the leaves, and I'm hearing the water on the beach, and I'm feeling the sand. That's, for me, a beautiful place to be. For someone else, it could be a couch, a beautiful couch with lots of plump pillows on it and a great book to read and a lovely blanket to cuddle up with. Visualize as many details in your mind as you can while your eyes are closed and you're imagining. I want you to as many little details as you can. Okay. I'm going to come back here, back to the real life, because open your microphones and tell me how that was for you, that like your little oasis.
It's great.
Good. Okay. Jochen.
It was quite nice.
It was simple. Okay, if you did it with a stone or without a stone, it's a simple thing. And you've now created your own oasis. When things are tough, you can take yourself to that place. Close your eyes and go back to that place again. Okay, now we're going to come back. We have to come back to the real life. But knowing that there's somewhere that I can just pop into to have relief, I think is very valuable. Okay, so you can develop that further in whatever way you want. Give yourself some time to do that. I think it's really important and beneficial for everybody. Okay. Now, I think we have to understand that we're in a situation that we did not choose. We didn't choose it. We didn't create it, but we are here. And a way for us to help ourselves during this situation is to feel that we have a purpose, okay? And so I'm going to give you an example for myself. 2 days ago, I received terrible news that a young man, a friend, one of my kids' close friends, and his 3-year-old son were killed in a car accident. Just a car accident, you know? But the tragedy, heartbreaking. I mean, for 5 minutes, I want to tell you something here as well. This is a side issue. If, God forbid, anybody has not good news to share, it's important to share it properly. In other words, I received a message like this. Effie and his 3-year-old son were killed in a car accident. It took me half an hour to recover from just hearing that. I have some not such good news to share with you. Let somebody prepare themselves, brace themselves. You know, God forbid if you get a punch in the stomach, if you can brace yourself and get your muscles ready, put your hands out to protect yourself, whatever it is, you're going to be able to deal with that. So that's just a side issue. That if God forbid, you know, it's just important. I've been through this. I've received bad news in not a good way. This isn't the first time, and it totally makes a difference. So if you want to know how to say it, I'm just going to tell you the stones. Take a blue lace agate and take a sodalite. Okay, they help us to express ourselves well. Hold them. Think for a second and don't just charge in like a bull in a china shop. Okay, so if ever, and it doesn't just go obviously for bad news, but if you need to tell somebody something and you need to be careful and say it well, take a breath, think about it. Think about it, and those are the crystals to hold. Blue lace agate and sodalite will help you do it well. Anyway, I devastated. Really, I was not in a good way. And after that, I had a Zoom. I have a weekly Zoom with my sister and my niece who live in America. And we learn together. We learn Torah together. We have a weekly thing. And I can't tell you, I cried and I was upset, but it was so helpful to me, giving it some purpose, learning Ilui Nishmatov in his memory, that his neshama should be uplifted. It made a difference. So I do something, okay? If something happened, I think when we sit around and we don't know what to do, that's the worst. And if you don't know what to do, my friends, David HaMelech gave us something amazing. He gave us the book of Tehillim, the Psalms. I'm a huge fan of that. So when I'm just sitting, I don't know what to do, or I hear things that don't make me so happy, I pull out my Tehillim. I've got one on my desk. I've got one on my phone. You know, we all have them around today. They're very easy. And you know what? You're helping yourself, but you're helping Am Yisrael as well. Tehillim is helpful for Am Yisrael, for the Jewish nation. So that's something that I really think, you know, take it. Use the Tehillim. And find some purpose, something you can be doing. And if for whatever reason there's not something purposeful that you feel you could do, prayer is open and available to all of us, okay? Those are just, and in your own way. I'm not saying how one should daven. Obviously not. Everybody should pray in their own way, whatever is convenient, comfortable, whatever talks to you. God is there. And the other thing is, Hashem is very close to people that have a broken heart. Hashem is there. He is close to people who call out to him. Okay? He is close. So this is the time we all, at whatever different levels, our hearts are breaking. Okay? And know that God is waiting to hear from us. His ears are seriously, they're open to us, so to speak. So call out and talk to him, because he's waiting to hear from us. And again, you want to take the amethyst stone. Amethyst is a beautiful spiritual stone. And if you feel that that's what's going to help you, or any other stone that's going to work for you. Okay, everybody's got their own stones. But whatever stone your hand pulls and picks up, that's a stone that's going to work for you. So I direct people to amethyst, because amethyst is just such a beautiful spiritual stone that it works for me. But something else may be good for somebody else. But if you want to, that's and someone else might say, Gila, I need this right now. This is a pyrite. Pyrite is a stone of happiness. Now, we're probably all want more happiness now, because we're supposed to serve Hashem b'simcha, ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, and that's what we want to do. And when we daven, if we can daven to Hashem more b'simcha, I'm not saying we're not getting up there, we can maybe get up there and dance if we move ourselves into the mood, but this is going to help us, okay? This is going to help us to be b'simcha. Hashem wants us to be b'simcha. Okay, so no, these things are with us. Now, something else I want to say, that there is something very important at this time. I mentioned we didn't choose to be here now, but we are put in this situation. And we know that we need to stand brave, and we need to stand tall, and yes, have a certain brazenness about us. Let us be strong. We are doing the right thing. There's this sort of illusion that the weak people are the victims. And the strong people, therefore, are the attackers or whatever. We have seen we are strong. We are a strong nation, and we need to harness our strength. And ladies, everybody, I want you to take in a deep breath and sit taller. Just sit taller. Sit up. Sit up. We are the chosen nation. Hashem loves us. And face the world that way. When people are attacking the Jews, whether it's the anti-Semitism or whether it's the physical attacks, we stand tall because we stand for something far greater than our individual selves, okay? And this is also going to help us to pull ourselves out of the situation. When we stand tall and we feel we have that strength, we can pull ourselves out of this. Now, there are stones that are going to help us to stand tall because it's not easy, okay? With everything that's going on, we feel never, but no, we're not never. We're not never. We're Am Yisrael. We're the Jewish nation. We're God's chosen people. We don't know what went on. We don't know why it happened because, as we say, Lama Yomu HaGoyim. The Goyim are going to say, why did this happen? We don't know. We don't understand. We can't even think to understand a Kodesh Baruch Hu's way. Something happened. We have to do all the things we have to do, but we have to stand tall and know that Hashem still loves us and we're still his people. You want help? Take a rose quartz. Take a hematite. A bloodstone. A red jasper. Give ourselves the confidence and the strength to stand up tall, okay, and to help strengthen other people as well. People need that now, okay? It's tough. It's tough out there, okay? And we're looking for that energy and ability to pull ourselves out of that place. We say in Tehillim, and that's one of the Tehillim that we're being told to say, chapter 130, Kuf Lamed, Mima amakim kerati chaya. From the depths, we called out to Hashem. So from our deep depths, we're calling out to God. Okay, that's what we can call. Now, the other thing that weakens us at this time is all of the fake news, hearing news, being attached to the radio, feeling we've got to know what's going on every minute. I said to one of the women that I work with, I said to her, you could listen to the news 3 times a day. Okay, that's a lot. That is a lot. But, you know, we have to be realistic. If someone can do less, do less. I know we all need to know. If you need to know something, by the way, you're going to know about it. There's anything. When the hostages are Be'ezrat Hashem, Emir Hashem released, okay, and we all have that tefillah that they'll be released, you will know about it, okay? We're all going to know about it, whether we looked at the news or whether we didn't. So when that happens, we're going to find out about it. So don't feel, though it's like a magnet, we all feel pulled to it, that you need to listen to the news every second because they're about to be released. Please God, they are about to be released. But whether we listen to the news or not, it's not going to make any difference to them being released, okay? So, and as we listen and we hear the fake news, okay, all those horrible things, it's weakening us and making, and paralyzing us. We don't need that. I don't think any of us need that. So take black tourmaline, okay? Black tourmaline protects us from negative energy, and we don't want that negative energy, because when that negative energy gets in, it's affecting our right brain, okay? And that takes away our calm and our menuchat hanefesh, you know, that tranquility that we want. That's what this is all taking away from us. And that is part of the terrorist war. They want to do it. They want to do that to us, and we don't want to let them do it, okay? So really, let's try and work on that. I don't know about you. I also have joined, I don't know if they have it in English, but in Hebrew, I've joined a particular chat where they send out news 3 times a day, and I'm sure if there was something incredible, they would send it out. They end the news with their news reports always with something positive, and it's very brief, tells me what I need to know, and I don't need to go searching everywhere and spending ages, etc. So we're trying, it's a war in here, girls. It's a war in here. So sometimes to focus, we can help us, the amethyst again can help us to focus, and the tiger eye. These just happens to be stones that I have on my desk, okay? Because I need them real bad. Okay. It was, I have to be honest, pulling this webinar together was about 5 times more difficult than it would be in normal times. But you know, we got to do what we've got to do. And that's the commitment. At this point in my life, I can still make that commitment. And I thank Hashem for that. Okay. So we want to conquer what's going on, and we want to do like a type of a reframe. I want to be able to say, I don't know what will be. Okay. Sorry. The tiger's eye is going to help us to concentrate and to focus. Okay. We want to be able to say, or we do say, I don't know what's going to be. None of us know what will be. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what's going to be. We don't know. I believe, that's what I say. I believe in Hashem. And now I'm going to take my seich to another place, a place of belief. I believe in Hashem. He's going to do what he's going to do. Okay? And I have to just accept that I don't know. Accepting that don't know and not feeling that I need to be in control and I need to understand everything is like a release. It's a release and a relief. And if you take deep breaths in and out, that is going to help us to say, I don't know, but I believe. Okay? Now, I want to give you just some thoughts that breathing for 5 minutes a day deeply is going to be helpful to you. Just taking that time out and breathing, going to that oasis that you created tonight is going to be helpful to you. Physical contact, even if it's an animal, feeling and touching something is going to be good for you. Sunshine is good for you. Okay, sleep is good for you. I know that it's very hard to go to sleep at night, and I discovered something new for me. This is me, right? Everybody's going to have their own way, but for me, very often I do have my crystals by my bed, but at the moment, I often go to sleep saying my Pirkei Tehillim. I just like, and we all know whether it's Ashrei we know by heart, or Mizmor LeTodah, or Hallel, or Friday night davening. There's something, or Hine Matovu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. There's something, and you know, to have those thoughts, to have those words going through my mind as I go to sleep, it's very helpful to me, and I believe it's helpful to Am Yisrael. Okay, and that's obviously important as well. Put on music if you can, and if music talks to you, choose your music, whatever works for you, put it on. Sport and exercise, because these are getting all the endorphins going. There's a lot of, you know, it gets all those juices going in our body, which is healthy for us. Okay, and the tefillah. Now, the stones, I'm going to tell you about a few stone sets. The other thing I want to give you is a way of relaxing with the crystals. Okay, I want to give you a thought of how we can relax with the crystals. So we have, right, energy centers in our body, the 7 energy centers. And if we place crystals, I'll show you a picture in a second. Okay, if we place crystals on each of our energy centers, if we place crystals there, it's going to calm us. It's just going to give us a certain calm and relaxation. It's quite amazing. So I'm going to share my screen and show you. Try and show you. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I just am putting a bunch of stones out there because I think that that's something for us, that anybody who's here enjoys crystals, appreciates crystals, is interested in crystals. So it's something beautiful to look at. Okay, so I wanted to share them with you. Here, this is a stone called the jasper, the Dalmatian jasper, which is something that helps to bring us happiness. And so does the pyrite over here help to bring us happiness. And here we have an abalone. And the abalone is also very good. Sorry. It's going to be very good to give us calm. If you see, this abalone reminds us a bit, is like as a shell. Shells are in the water. That calming sound of the waves and the water. How people love to look at the water and relax. It's a relaxing stone. Okay. I talked to you before about the blue lace agate. Here it is. This is the blue lace agate, which is a stone that helps us say things in a better way. We know how to say things, but sometimes we want to express ourselves just a little bit better. And this blue lace agate is going to help us with that. Okay, I just put that out there because I thought it was a nice thing to see. Or maybe because I love stones so much. Okay, here we have, maybe I can, no. Okay, here, sorry, the colors. Here we have a set out. Here you have the energy centers. We can take, and if you have stones in these colors and they're not these stones, you could lie with them as well. It's fine. 20 minutes, beautiful music, relaxing music, whatever you like, and place one of the stones on each of the energy centers. So one of the stones that I like to recommend, okay, a moonstone here is our crown, fluorite, or a purple stone here. This is called the third eye, okay? That's our spirituality. At our neck here, we can place a blue lace agate or another blue stone that we have, help us communicate. At our heart, place a bloodstone or another green stone. And if you don't have a green stone, try a pink stone, okay? I do have sets with these crystals and with all the explanations of the stones, but I want to give you this info here. Solar plexus, which is just the diaphragm area, a yellow calcite, if you have, or another yellow stone or something along that line. And if you don't have yellow and you don't have the right stone, but you have some stone, put it there anyway, okay? If you like it, it's good for you. Then here, we're going to have just above our belly button a carnelian. I mentioned the carnelian, which is the Even Hatkuma, the stone that's mentioned in the Gemara to help women during times of pregnancy so that they don't miscarry. And then at our root chakra, which is just which is underneath, like 4 fingers underneath the belly button, is the ruby. You don't have a spare ruby around, then take another dark colored stone. If it's your black tourmaline, or if it's a hematite, or a dark colored stone that you have, okay, and you can place it at the root chakra. Lie down and relax with the music. Or without the music, whatever's good for you, okay? Music is not essential, okay? Give yourself 20 minutes like that. It is amazing, okay? And sometimes when I don't know what to do with myself because I'm just like wound up like what's the expression, a cat on hot coils or something like that. Anyway, I'm wound up. You get my drift, okay? I do this. I lie down with this, and it is really very, very helpful. Okay, I wanted to share with you another couple of sets of stones that I do use during this time, and I can recommend to you is stones for stress. Okay, there is okay, you can take a photo if you want. For stress, we have the aventurine and the optical calcite, the rhodonite, and the amazonite. These are a wonderful set of stones. They'll help us balance, help us calm down and deal with what we're going through. Okay. It can't take away the war. I can't take away the war. I can't take away the tragedy. I can't, the crystals can't. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do everything. And these are tools of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay? These are tools that Hashem has given us to help us, okay? I call them trufot shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem's medications. So we take these stones and hold them in your hand. Put them next to you, you know, on your desk or whatever it may be. Have them nearby. They could be helpful. Sometimes people are feeling lonely. They're alone. Okay. You know, a family that somebody don't have the family around. People have been. It's a feeling that plenty of people have, and this is a really helpful group of stones for that. The agate Botswana, the amethyst, the amazonite, and the smoky quartz. You can take these stones and you could do two things. You can keep them nearby you, okay, and hold on to them and just feel them, have them on your desk. That's great. If you choose, you can put them into a glass with mineral water, okay, cover it, and after 24 hours, you can drink that water because the frequencies from these stones are transferring to the water, okay? We have our anxiety set, okay, which is always good, which is the howlite and the smoky quartz, two stones just to hold and have them nearby you. And I wrote down their nature's Ritalin, not because I think that everybody is ADHD at the moment, okay? But I know for myself, and I'm not ADHD, but I know for myself, I told you one of the stones I want is a lepidolite. It's so hard to focus and to put my feet on the ground, and I feel that this is a great grounding set that could be beneficial now. So I decided to put it there. The lepidolite mentioned here is actually not an essential stone to this set. That's why it's not in the picture. But if someone wants it, like guess who, then it will be helpful and beneficial. Okay, I don't think I have anything else. That's it. Okay, so this is primarily what I wanted to share with you. If somebody wants to share something else for like 1 minute and give us another suggestion, I would be happy to hear from you. Anybody want to share something, or would anybody like to ask questions? Okay, write down in the chat, okay, so I can see if you would like, so I know that you're there, because I actually can't see everybody. Okay, so I saw Yocheved. So Yocheved,
Okay. I have a beautiful collection of stones from Tzfat. I fill a large silver dish with them. And I hold one of them and I stroke it because I want to connect with tzaddikim.
Beautiful.
It's very soothing.
That is like, that's something so important that everyone has to also, you find your way. Okay, feel free. So Yocheved wants to relate to the tzaddikim, and that works for her. So, and if you want to do it with the stone, you don't want to do it with the stone, everybody should, you know, whatever works for you. But, you know that there are those options available. Thank you. So when we have the stones close to us, okay, when we're holding the stones, then certainly the frequencies can transfer. But if they're nearby us, they also are beneficial and helpful to us. Okay, I think I have to open my chat up. Okay. Okay, amazing. Okay, going. Rivka's suggestion, use hematite, which contains iron, to connect with Charvot Barzel, the swords of iron operation. I love it. Okay, the hematite, which I happen to have on my desk, okay, here is a metallic type, is a metallic stone in it, full of iron, which is also good for our iron levels. So holding it, because it's not going in water, this stone cannot go in water, okay, but you hold on to this stone, okay, and think about our success for Charvot Barzel, okay, the swords of iron, and really feel this energy. And it also gives us, it's a stone that's going to help us to cope with what's going on as well, okay. Okay, so different people have different things that work for them. So sweeping leaves and cleaning up the garden, breathing in the coolness in the garden. Fantastic. If that's what works for you, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It gives us also a feeling of fulfillment, you know, when we get those leaves out of the way and we enjoy the clean pathway, etc. It's wonderful. It's terrific. Okay, the grief stones, yes, there are more stones. Apache tear is one of the stones for grief. Amethyst is also a stone for grief. It helps us to deal with what we're going through. It helps us to accept what we're going through. The amethyst and the amber, you know those little necklaces that the babies wear when they're teething? Amber, it's a soothing stone which gently takes away pain. So that is also good for grief, okay? The citrine, someone asked me about the citrine. Oh man, that's a great question. Citrine is amazing. Citrine is a stone of success. Do we want Israel to succeed? Yes, yes, yes. So grab your citrine, ladies, and have in mind the success of Achayalim, the success of the tefillot, and please God, all the operations, everything that's going on in Gaza and everywhere else. Please God. Okay, so we definitely want success. So thank you for asking that and bringing that up. Stones for energetic protection, coming into okay. We take the black tourmaline is that energetic protection. It's going to help us from the negative energies that are trying to penetrate. That will help people who are in the helping profession as well. You have people coming into your clinic or into the office or into whatever it is, if you know, and they bring with them their energies. The black tourmaline is helpful. If there's a something in the household, people that are coming into your household somehow or other, and there's not a good energy, then the black tourmaline can help us as well. There is also a stone called the tactite. It's not a stone, it's actually a meteor. And the tactite also can help us from the negative energy. But the number one stone, okay, is really the black tourmaline. Okay. Yes, we gave people black tourmaline, okay? So I'll tell you, for soldiers, black tourmaline I would definitely recommend. Citrine, they've got to succeed. They're gonna succeed. Be'ezrat Hashem, Emir Hashem, they're going to succeed for our soldiers. Black tourmaline, citrine, turquoise is a very protective stone, and petrified wood is also very, very good. Okay. So that is great in their pockets, wherever they can. I gave soldiers, I had a bunch of black tourmaline stones. Actually, the woman in the stone shop, Shani, I'm telling because I think it's like amazing. She gave me stones to give out to soldiers. So I had a little bucket of stones, and as if they came into my house or I'm driving on the roads and I saw soldiers, they all got stones. And our first response unit here, where I live, they got black tourmaline. Okay, stones need to be cleansed. Okay, now I'm talking under normal circumstances. Okay, people can do what they can do, what they can manage with what they can manage. Under normal circumstances and in the ideal situation, crystals should be cleansed once a week. We take them into the kitchen or wherever it is. We rinse them under cold running water, tap water. Okay, you could have the dishes or plants underneath, whatever you want. Cold running water for 2 minutes, and then take them and place them outside in daylight for 3 hours. Okay, so it's 2 minutes and then 2 minutes under cold running water, 3 hours outside in daylight. It doesn't matter if it's sunny, it doesn't matter if it's rainy, but it matters that they're outside. Okay. No, they're not going to have the same, crystals are not going to have the same effect if they're kept in a glass closed box. Okay. I know that looking at them is very good, but there is no doubt that when we feel them and that their energies can really touch us and reach us, they're going to be more effective. Okay.
Gila.
Stones, one sec. Yeah, hang on one sec. I'm going through the chat and then I'll come back. Okay. Stones should go in the correct chakra, the correct energy center, the one that it relates to. So purple stones relate to the third eye, but there are certain ways of using them. I mean, that's basically what I teach. Okay, there are certain ways of using the stone. So, because you're not going to be able to walk around with the stone stuck here. I've got my lepidolite. It's a purple stone here. It's not so practical to walk around holding it like that. So there are other ways of using the crystals. We know we can put certain crystals in our bra. We're all women here, and we can put certain crystals in water, and there are different ways of using them. Okay. They can be held. When you're putting the stones in water, you can hold them in your hand. You can put them in a colander, a plastic container, not metal though. Please don't use metal with your crystals as much as possible. Okay, the stone should be close to your skin. It should be close to you, okay? It doesn't have to always touch. The energies transfer. They don't, okay, you know, if they're not being handled and they're really not being used, then no, they don't mean to be transferred. They don't mean to be purified weekly. But then again, on the other hand, you know, like I have crystals all over my house. I don't purify them weekly, but every so often I take a bunch of them and I say, okay, now we're going to give you a little bath. Okay, and we're going to cleanse you. Okay, crystals in the mikveh. Rabbeinu Bachaye says, I read it. Rabbeinu Bachaye says this. I have the philosophers talk about purifying crystals, and I think that this is a good idea. Letaher the crystals. I think it's a good idea because they absorb our energy and we need to charge them again. Rabbeinu Bachaye says that. I feel that if any of our chazal, any of our commentaries talk about purification, purification usually refers to the mikvah, and therefore I take all my crystals to the mikvah. I put them in a big plastic colander. I give them a dunk in the mikvah. And the first time I did this, I want to tell you, I said, you know, I was purifying regularly. And then, you know, I said, it says Rabbeinu Bachaye talks about it, I'm going to take them. So I took a batch of stones to the mikveh. I put them in, and when I brought them, when I took them out, I want to tell you, I felt that they were smiling. And because I felt that they were smiling, I said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And Baruch Hashem, I have been able to do that as well. So I purify them in the regular way as well as purifying them in the mikveh. I don't work with my method of purifying, I have told you, is daylight, okay? Glass is fine. Glass is very good. Crystals like glass, that's okay. They can touch one another when they're outside. Sorry, they make a noise. When they're outside, it's no problem. In my hand, it's no problem. They can touch one another, okay? Okay, I think that's it. Any other questions, ladies? Anything else? Any other? Okay. So once again, I'm going to take this opportunity and tell you I do the assessments. I do assessments over Zoom as well. Okay. So I actually reach all over the world. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. And it's an incredible process. And I honestly feel that these crystals are a gift from Hashem that, you know, He's created, and it says in Tehillim that everything HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us, we could use. And so we can use these crystals. So I encourage you to use crystals in whatever way. Feel free to reach out to me. And it's been lovely being with you. If you want to open up and make a comment, feel free.
You put them, after you put them in the mikvah, do you leave them outside?
I do purify them, okay? I feel that they need that toiveling. and that they need the purification afterwards. So I still do the 2 minutes under running water and 3 hours outside. I do both.
Thank you very much for giving the share and at no charge. And you should only have mazel, and things should work well for everyone in your yeshuv.
Amen. For all of
Amen. Thank
Klal
you.
Yisrael, Be'ezrat Hashem, we should have good news for all of Klal Yisrael. And together we should welcome the Geulah Shlema, please God. Okay?
Amen.
Okay.
Thank
Laila
you.
Tov, Yom Tov to everybody. Okay? All the
Thank
best.
you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you, Gila.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's Gila.
Parsatov for your help.